All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Distinguished Speaker Series. For those of you that are joining us new, my name is Asma Wasti. I'm the founder of Accelerate Global, and I help you scale and grow your business using webinars as the cornerstone lead generation strategy and fill it with hundreds of people organically. And I am also owner and creator of Webinar Accelerator, the program and the group that you're in. We have this is one of my favorite things to do. We have a lovely guest today under our Distinguished Speaker Series, where we bring one of our members onto the platform and talk about who they are, where they're coming from, their story, their journey, and what makes them the entrepreneur they are, and why are they so unique. So today we are so thrilled to have Amy Bolton joining us from BC, British Columbia, Canada. Hi, Amy, and welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me here. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank you so much for being a part of our series. So happy that you could. Hi, Monica. There's people that are joining us. Thank you so much. Now we only have 30 minutes to go, so we have a lot to cover in terms of the ground. So let's start talking about you, who you are, where do you come from, and what is your business? And then we're going to talk from there.
So I am Amy Bolton, and I am a sexual empowerment coach. I help women reclaim their sexual power through sexual empowerment retreats and one-on-one coaching. I've coordinated these retreats with the full moon, and I bring together a bunch of different women to speak on sexual empowerment and help empower each other and just have a sisterhood of women together, which is really quite exciting. I like to use the example of the kitchen. I like bringing a bunch of people together in the kitchen to just kind of empower one another and learn from one another. And that's what I do.
That's so intriguing. That sounds wonderful and intriguing. So tell me, how did you arrive at that concept? Like, what made you start a sexual empowerment retreat and offer that to women?
Yeah, well, there's a lot behind all of that. So I, for many years, I was married with my husband at a very young age, high school sweetheart, and we started a family. We had our girls, and I just kind of did all the things, got the house, had the kids, got married, and then I ended up with postpartum depression and anxiety and struggled for many years and started my business through that. And then I realized a few years back, there was a really pivotal moment in my life where I was like, whoa, I'm definitely not living with my sexual power. I'm definitely not owning my sexual power. I've kind of just totally shut that whole side off. I connected with a few different women online who were supporting women in the LGBTQ community, and I started talking to them, and I was like, whoa, like I've been like suppressing who I am for a lot of years and not being open and about who I am. And my husband's always known, but there was definitely not a lot of connection with my sexuality, and I hadn't been in tune with my body too, really, like living in my body, and like obviously we have kids, so we've had sex and do all those things, but there was not a lot of like my own connection to my body. So there was no masturbating for like, I don't know how many years. It was like, my daughter's 9. So, and we were married for 16 years now. So like for 16 years, I was so disconnected. I was just doing everything. Like I look back now and I was so codependent for so many years, so much codependency. And now I consider myself a recovered codependent person, and recovered from all of that. And on the full moon, I love journaling. So I don't know if you guys have heard of morning pages or if anybody's done morning pages, but I used to get up every morning when you're kind of in that like semi-unconscious state and start journaling. And the word connection kept coming up. Connection. I need to connect with nature, connect with Oh, my door is popping open.
I was going to ask you, what did you make of that word connection? Like so did you actually derive that to connect with yourself, or was it to connect with others?
Connect with others and connect with nature. And it was never really with myself. Like, you know, I journaled for a long time about this, and connecting with my children in different relationships and my partner. And I was like, you know, exploring all this connection. And when I was journaling just this past winter, this is when the sexual empowerment retreats came up. It was connecting with other women and creating this retreat. I've held face-to-face retreats before, a few summers ago, pre-COVID, right, when we can all get face-to-face together, and I loved it. That's the whole kitchen analogy of us getting together and doing, you know, we did drum making, we did fires together, and went out on the lake in the canoes, and communal cooking together. We had massage and Reiki and all the things. Anyways, and so I just wanted a way to kind of do this online together and help empower women, because it's just so powerful when you can get all the women together and start healing together. And so I started connecting with all these women online, and I was like, there has to be a way that we can do this online and work together and just collaborate together. And I started connecting, and I brought together 6 women, including myself, and I called them the Goddess Panel, and brought everybody together and started these retreats.
I love the name. I love the name. Yay, of course. Yeah. So at the time when you thought of that you need to have a retreat, or did those women tell you that, yes, you need to have a retreat? How did that convert into a business? So there was a concept, but did it start as a business concept, or it started with the term connection? And then how did it convert into a business?
That's an interesting question. So a long time, like when I was journaling back when, I think it was more for self-reflection, the connection term. And during the full moon, I knew I had, because I've had the last 6 months where we spent with family and just kind of, I guess, connecting as family and just being together as a family and supporting my husband and my daughters through their homeschooling and all that. And just journaling through that, I really wanted to create something with my business, because I've been online for years, and I just love supporting other women, like through their postpartum journeys. And that's what I've done for years, supporting women postpartum, and through my doula training and all that sort of stuff. And so I was trying to figure out something that I could connect together. And in my journal, the full moon retreat came up, and I was like, oh, okay, we can do these meditations online. We can do this healing online. There's so many women that work with people online healing. And in this, and as soon as I started looking in the whole sexual realm and the spiritual realm and the empowerment realm and all this, there's so many women, and it was so exciting for me to start connecting and making all these connections. Actually, the pivotal moment now I realize is when Madam Gigi, she had contacted me in one of these groups, and I was just trying to get out there and promote my group. And she had said, hey, let's talk about pleasure. Who wants to talk on my Facebook about pleasure? And I was like, yes, here. And so I remember going down to the beach, because when we were down on the island, I go down to the beach and set up my computer and get ready for this live. I had no clue who I was talking to or what I was doing. And I knew we were talking about pleasure. And I get down there, and so we just chatted casually about pleasure and our life and our business and different things. And then I contacted her later. I'm like, I have this idea, because it was the full moon, like a few days after that. And I was journaling and just harnessing that full moon energy and channeling that through me and whatever was coming out. And this is where it all came out on the paper, was after
wonderful connect on the beach, and then, literally.
Yeah. And I grabbed my phone and I sent the lady some voice clips, and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. And she was like, yes, let's do it. Like, make it happen. And having that support from her, right? And just creating that. And she was one of the first Goddess panelists. And then I brought together more women that I'd been connecting with. I'm like, oh, I seen this other lady doing a live over here, and another lady. And I just brought everybody together. And now I have kind of this template of continuing this retreat. And
And you do
and
that
the
quarterly now.
testimonials. And yes. So now we do it quarterly.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, okay, so tell me a little bit about, because you did touch upon it a bit about your postpartum, right? Because that was something that past that you actually started journaling, and then past that you actually started realizing that you need to really embrace who you are, right? As a person. So tell me about that moment, because that is a defining moment for you, right? To move forward from there.
Yes. And it's really interesting looking back now with my journey with postpartum depression and anxiety and supporting women in that way. Because all parts of me, and I always remember the same lady that started the retreat, she's like, all parts of us are welcome, right? All parts of us are welcome. And I just love that saying. And I think during like my postpartum period, there is so much masculine energy on the planet, right? We all have feminine and masculine energies, and they've been so out of alignment on the planet. And there's been like lots of masculine, do, go, do everything, do all the things, busy. When we were traveling south, actually, I walked into McDonald's to grab a quick bite to eat for the kids as we're traveling. And these people walk in and they're like, how are you? Oh, I'm good. I've been busy. Oh, busy. And I could tell these people knew each other, but that was the extent of their conversation was, oh, I've been busy, right? It just shows how society is. And when I had my first daughter, I was like reading all the books, like, oh, I need to know how to do this. How do I make this better? How do I like do all these things versus just connecting intuitively and trusting my motherly instincts, trusting my feminine side, trusting all that. And I was so disconnected with that whole side, and just quieting my mind and calming down and trusting and connecting. And I see that now. I see how that was all a big learning curve for me, and just shifting out of that masculine and embracing both masculine and feminine, right? Like, you know, both energies are beautiful energies, but when we're out of balance, our body naturally, this is how I look at it, back at it, just kind of brought me into that depression to slow me down and calm me down so that I could just actually be there with my child rather than.
So interesting you say it that way and you take it that way. It's so, you just kind of, I had this aha moment. Monica says, this is amazing, Amy. She's writing a book about that and work in that direction too. It would be wonderful to connect and have a chat. Of course, I would love to put you two together, Monica and Amy. That's what we're doing next. From our Distinguished Speaker series, we're actually bringing it to the event page where people from the same genre, from the same industry, from the same topics can actually come together, and we give them a platform to do, a masterclass with all of you on it. So that would be amazing if we can do that. That will be awesome. That's our next step moving forward. So yes, Monica, yay to that. It's so amazing you said that, because there's so many people that go through that, so many women who go through that, the postpartum depression after having children, not realizing what they're going through or trying to fix it in so many different other ways. And you just said that was a nature's way of slowing you down and listening to your own maternal instincts, listening to your own body, listening to your own mind, listening to what comes naturally to you. That is a big takeaway for me, actually.
Yeah. It was a huge moment, like realizing that looking back, obviously, like in the midst of it, like when you're in the midst of it, you don't see all that. It's just like chaos and like overwhelm and exhaustion and sleeping and all these things. But afterwards it's like, wow, like, like it's beautiful how our bodies just kind of take care of us so that we can learn and see all parts of us, and that all parts of us are welcome and okay on this planet.
True. And that's what took you to your journey to where you are today, having your own retreat and having your own, empowering women's sexuality for that. So now in this process, you also did have a doula certification, you said, huh? Tell me about that.
Yes. So I worked as a pregnancy outreach worker for about 5 years. And I did my doula certification while I was doing that. And is a postpartum doula certification. So there was lots of Ayurveda pieces kind of into that, and the diet and how that all kind of affects a woman after having their baby. It was a very beautiful course. And I did attempt to start doing doula services. I think my huge desire to like travel and have that freedom, because we live in our travel trailer and we travel, kind of slowed that down a lot, because I realized that how am I going to plan this around somebody's like 9-month pregnancy to where I am, right? And I can do it a little bit online too. But doula, I love babies, and I love connecting with moms and just doing that whole realm of things. And I learned so much through the whole doula certification that I did, and the connections that I made there too with the other students and the other people that I still follow that are practicing their training through being a doula. And the other part is being able to help a lot of the moms in my life, right? Like a lot of my friends are having babies and they come to me and I'm able to support them. And the other angle is people coming to me and asking me how they support other moms that are in their lives that are struggling, right? So the helpers are always looking how they can help.
Yes, So anything from that doula training and certification comes in handy for you now that you run your retreat for sexual empowerment?
Oh yes, so much of it. Just the energy work, the lady who did the training for my doula. There were so many angles. It was very holistic, and like I say, there was the Ayurveda component in it, and all the different elements that we live, the earth and the air and the fire, the water is all a big part of the elements of our food that we have. And yeah, a big component, like I also have my integrative nutrition health coaching certification, which kind of the two of those really meld together. And part of the retreats is like, I like to bring components of food to it, right? Because like I said in the beginning, it's like when we all get into a kitchen, we start cooking together or eating together, food brings people around, and there's a lot of healing that happens. And so during these retreats, I bring in women that are doing cooking demos or teaching about food and how it makes us feel, or how we can find pleasure through our food or whatever, right? So there's a lot of that kind of all ties in. It's kind of interesting.
That does. I absolutely agree, because our body mind is connected, and of course all of this training comes in handy. We actually have a chef in our group. We're going to put her on the pedestal soon enough, and we'll hear from her to the extension of what you're talking about. So that's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that. Yes, you have a lot of training behind you. You had your personal experience, your personal challenge, and that's what brought you to start your business that you are doing today. Take us back a little bit, because are you always from BC? You grew up there. I believe you are you at a farm right now? Where are you located?
So I'm in northern BC on the Cassiar Highway at a resort. So my parents bought this resort way back 23 years ago. Wow. So when I was about 9 years old, I moved up here from a farm in Alberta. So we grew up on a farm. My primary years were on a farm. And then mom and dad brought us all the way up here, which is like a 2,000 kilometer journey up. I like to call it the middle of somewhere. It's not the middle of nowhere. It's very, very remote and not very many people, but it's beautiful.
You and I are talking, so at least, it is the middle of somewhere, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to connect, that's for sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of people who connect with that farm life too. L'Oreal says a doula. Wow, such a blessing. That's amazing. L'Oreal is joining us from South Africa. Thank you, L'Oreal. Amazing. So tell us a little bit about your farm life, because a lot of people can connect with that. People have that, some of them have that farm background. I know last time we had a lot of conversation with a lot of people joining us around that. So talk to us about your life at that time. What kind of a life you had? You had siblings. How did you grow up there?
Yeah, so I have 2 younger siblings, and I was the oldest. And actually, when we moved to where I am right now, where my dad still is, we brought llamas with us. So those were a part of the farm that we moved with us, and which was really fun. So growing up, my sisters and I, we took care of the llamas, and we had dogs and cats here. But previously, in my primary years, we had all kinds of animals. We had chickens and pigs and cows and all kinds of things. And even bringing my daughters back here, like living in such a free-spirited place, being able to run around and be safe and feel like they can create and explore and build things. My daughter's building a fort down there, and just grabbing random chunks of wood that are laying around, right? And them being able to jump on the four-wheeler and go for a ride. And it brings back my childhood memories so much. And I'm so blessed to be able to have that opportunity for my children to have those opportunities on the farm or taking care of the different animals. I know last year we had a litter of puppies here, which was really fun. And yeah, back to when I was little, there's so much that I learned. I know a lot of my busy masculine energy came from the farm, because you're always working so hard, right? Like yes. And my dad, even the belief systems, like we show up here and he's like, oh, it was such a hard winter. Oh, we had to do this. And yeah, it is hard. We're collecting firewood and we're doing all these things, but it's just interesting how my mindset shifted. And I can see where a lot of those like hardworking, got to work super hard and to make things happen. And all of that came from, it's definitely from the farm life, because it can be a lot of hard work, right?
Good point. Now, you said that your mom had gotten into an accident and that was a pivotal moment for you. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So looking back at a lot of that now, I see a lot of different codependency aspects that came in my life at that time. But it's taught me so much. My mom was in a couple car accidents, and we ended up at a very young age. I was still like in high school, starting university. I kind of dropped all of my university training that I was doing just to care for my mom, because that was what was priority, was caring for her and taking care of her. And my sisters and I did that for a lot of years. And I realized, looking back, like, wow, taking care of my mom and having a newborn baby and, caring for all of these other things and helping support the lodge that we have up here and all those things was a lot. No wonder I was like struggling with depression and anxiety after all of that. And that was a big moment in my life. There's a lot of caregiving and not even realizing, just like helping is always reaching out to help everybody, and not realizing that that's their journey and my journey. And there was a lot of trying to figure that out, and hiring different help and different nannies, and just trying to find ways to support her without being too much on myself. But it definitely was a lot. There was a lot during
you were always giving
years.
At that, especially at that time, you were always giving versus, taking it back or looking after yourself. And that's kind of how you dwindled on yourself, really, which you discovered later on that made a business out of it. Very interesting. But that, you said, was not your first go at the online business, right? There's a gap. What about that?
No, we I've been kind of in the online world for a lot of years. When I had my first daughter, I started Melaleuca, so promoting Melaleuca products, and doing a lot of network marketing for other people and promoting other people's products, and doing a lot of that in the early years. I've always had this drive of really having something for myself, and that
where
brings
did
me
that
back.
drive come from? Yeah, I was going to ask you, does that drive come from?
That drive come from? That's an interesting question. I know I was just thinking, like, last year my coach was like, no, Amy, because I was like, I'm going to do something with my husband and my dad and do all these things. She's like, well, what about yourself, right? And I've always had this drive to do something for myself. And then, that's the codependency. Okay, maybe I'll just like do it for these people. But yeah, that drive is within me. And like, I always say, like, one of the trainings I did, the lady talked about how we float around, right? Like, so many people on this planet are floating. They're not very grounded. They're not very like firm and planted. And within their body, like I didn't even really connect within my body. I was so out here, like in my brain and that sort of thing for so many years. And I think, like, within my body, like, my body really wants something for me and something that feels good. And it feels so much better to just do things for myself that feel good. And like, intuitively now, even with my business, I'll be like, oh, maybe I should do this. And then I can feel it. And I'm like, oh, no, that's not what I should be doing.
So what you're really telling,
yeah.
Amy, to all of us is that to stay true to yourself. If you are doing, right, if you, any one of us who are entrepreneurs, who are going after whatever our passion is or dream is, instead of trying to follow what others are doing, be true to who you are and follow your instincts and yourself and your passion. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yes, that's very, very much true, is following what your passion is. And and I know I've always watched my parents be business. My mom and dad have always had different little businesses going and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot from there, but that's their journey, right? And this is my journey, and I get to do the things that make me feel good and follow my heart. And you've got that exactly right.
And that's what makes you good at what you do, don't you? Right?
Yes. Yes.
Right? You're able
it
to
doesn't
help
feel
the
good
women.
when we're following other people's paths versus helping people that, what feels good to me, right? And help those women. And just I do love what I do very much so.
And that's what makes you unique. Because remember when you were telling about putting other people's products, you were doing other, promotional blogs and all that kind of stuff, but it didn't go the same direction that your current business is going, right?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah. None of it. I just kept like hitting these walls like, this doesn't feel right. And I don't even think I was aware of it at the time, that I just wasn't really aligned with those things. They were teaching me things. I look back and I learn a lot, but it was definitely not aligned with who I am and all parts of me, right? Like, so me just being open about myself and being true to who I am and true to myself, right? Trusting myself that I do know what's going on and trusting that all parts of me are okay and welcome on this planet. Because a lot of us, there's a big piece of safety, right? We don't feel safe to just really be ourselves.
Be who we are. Oh, this is so right. You got to say that again. We don't feel safe in the way that we are, and to embrace ourselves to who we are. And I'm a testament to that, because the day I embraced myself to who we are, my business soared. My business literally soared, because I enjoy doing what I do. I find thrill in that. I find that it's transformational for the people that I do. And I'm sure you feel the same way in the lives of the women that you're helping.
Yes. So much. I always feel so good when I get off calls with women. I'm just like, oh yes. Like yesterday I was on a call and I get back and I'm just like, oh yes, finally. Cause we took a long time to travel up here because we spent a month at my sister's house. And so I was like getting back into the routine and I'd pushed everything back, and I did a call yesterday and I was like, yes, this is who I am. And like, this is what I'm doing. And it just feels so good.
And that is your calling. That's awesome. So tell me, so we've got a couple of minutes left. I know, what's the vision forward? What are you looking to do moving forward in the next few years that you yourself doing?
My vision forward is to keep holding my women's sexual empowerment retreats and keep bringing women together and growing that goddess panel and keep bringing women into these retreats and empowering them to, be their true self and harness that sexual power. I know a lot of people they think of sex as just, penetration, but there's so much more. Our sexual energy just flows through our whole body. And when you're really, really acknowledging all of it, it's just the work that can happen is just so powerful. And that's my goal, is just to keep doing these retreats quarterly and have a few clients as my time is able to on the side, and just to keep moving forward with that.
Awesome. And you've been kind enough to put something in our pool to gift our members, and we'll be doing draw enough. You want to say that? You said 90 minutes of consultation?
Yeah. So 90 minutes sexual empowerment consultation with whoever the lucky winner is. And we can sit down and kind of address all those things and figure out what's holding you back from really living with all that sexual energy and really letting it move you forward.
I'm so looking forward to that. That's equivalent to about $500 worth of value. It's important to let us know. I know you don't want, but I know it's important because it's your time and it's your money that you're giving away, and so kindly. So thank you so much. And I'm always thankful to all of our members who do this. That goes into our pot, that goes towards our members, like we draw it to and give it to them. So really, that's what collaboration and being a community, sense of community is all about. So I really, really thank you, Amy. See how 30 minutes pass by so fast? And it's just us chatting here. Right? But I love it. Thank you for being a part of our Distinguished Speaker Series and bringing your journey and your story to us. That's why we've designed it. It was it's so intriguing to actually hear you and talk to you again. So I'm happy, and I'm so glad that I'm hopeful that our members will truly enjoy that. And we'll continue to see you, continue to see your posts, and certainly we'll see you and hear from you again. Thanks a lot, Amy.
Yes, thank you.
All right, welcome. Bye now.